This video, we're going to give you a quick tour of the Consume Carbon Footprint tool, show you how straightforward it is to use and how it can really give you the information you need to understand your impacts and drive change in your business. So we started with the end here. So this is the output results from the tool, and I'll show you how to get to these results, and then we'll come back to them and look at them in a bit more detail. But this is going to be a quick overview of the tool. So the first thing you do for your company is you set up the different offices that you might have. You can either add these manually, which is very simple, or if you've got a lot to add, you can download a template here, copy the data into a spreadsheet and upload it. Similar really with the data. So in this example, we will look at all of the data that has been loaded up for this test company, Quercus. It will filter it by year, so there's only a little bit of data in for 2025. There's a lot more in for some previous years, 2024, and before that. You can also filter your data here by picking different elements. So we could just go and look at our electricity data, or you could look at it by an individual facility if you really want to streamline what you're seeing. In terms of how you add data, so that is really straightforward, and there's a number of different ways you can do that. So if you just want to add one simple piece of data, you just click on here, pick the office that you want to assign it to, put some dates in. I'm going to cheat and just put those. You can put some sort of custom field in here. Now that might be some regional information, or in this case, we're just using it to flag that we've got some test data. And then you would go and find your data, so add your data. So in this case, we're going to put some electricity in manually. We know it's for the United Kingdom, for the UK, so we pop that in, and we know that it was 4,500 kilowatt hours of electricity. And then we just add that data. If we know that it was 100% renewable energy, we can also put that into the tool, and it will allow us to report our impacts on the market-based approach. So it's just going to save that data into the tool. There we go, it's saved and it's told me it's worked successfully. If we had a lot of data to bring in, and electricity is a good example, then we can import data. So there are a whole bunch of import routines here. You download a template, copy the data into that template and upload it, and it will bring in it automatically for you. It's a very, very quick and easy process. And the template that we use for data collection, that's aligned to these import templates. So if you've collected it and put it into the right way into our data collection template, you'll be able to just cut and paste that into an import template, and in comes your data. So like I said, there's a lot of data in here already for this particular company, ranging from electricity and business services to some food and drink aspects here, natural gas, home working, all sorts of things. So quite a comprehensive footprint for this organisation. So let's go and have a very quick look at the results. So you've already seen a snapshot of these. So we've got results by different years. Let's go back to 2024, and it will calculate it each time because you may have made some changes. You've got some summary information at the top of the page here, which will tell us the year we're looking at. So in this case, calendar year 2024. You've got the option to export this out as a standalone PDF file, which is really useful. You can also take all the data out into Excel, which is really, really useful for more sort of complex manipulation, or perhaps putting in something like Power BI. You can also do some other analyses here and toggle between what you're seeing, whether it's total carbon or whether it's in a relative measure, and as we said, the market-based assumption if you're using renewable electricity. But let's have a quick look at the data and what the tool is telling us. So for this company, really simple snapshot in the dashboard. It tells us what our impacts are by scope and total. It shows us the previous year as well as the year we've asked it to report, so 2024 in this case. So we can see the changes by year. We can see those impacts spread out by different metrics if we want, revenue in this case, or headcount. We've got a nice visual here in a Manhattan showing the how our Scope 3 impacts are by far our largest, and at a glance you can see for this company there, Scope 1 is much higher this year than it was in the previous year, sorry, other way around, that the Scope 1 is lower. Sorry, higher for 2024. What we're talking about, live demos never do them. But we've also got this really nice graphic here, which again gives us a more detailed snapshot. It's helping us see that of that nearly 1,000-ton footprint, 999 tons, the majority of it is in business services, or that's the biggest impact area. Then electricity is the next largest area, followed by gas and so on. So you can see that data in a bit more detail. And then the last bit I'm going to show you is just the real breakdown of that. So for everything that you've added for that year, it will show you the values. So in this case, there was some advertising average, probably spend-based data has been put in. It's telling us the total carbon impact is just over 8 tonnes, and all of that sits within Scope 3. If we were looking at something like this biofuel here, so the total is just under a tonne, 0.8 tonnes of carbon dioxide equivalent. There's only a small amount of that in Scope 1 because it's a biofuel, but we've got the larger amount sat in the Scope 3, which is the well-to-tank to do with the production of that fuel. Let's just look at one or two more. So we've got some business travel here, some air travel. So we can see our total of air travel of 14.5 tonnes in domestic air for that year, all of it in Scope 3. If we looked at electricity, we'd see totals. So let's pick this one, electricity in Germany. So that'll be using the German electricity factors. We've got just over 11 tonnes, of which 8.5 tonnes is in our Scope 2, and a small amount of Scope 3, which again is the transmission, distribution, and the well-to-tank. So just a very quick tour round. Hopefully that's enabled you to see that the tool is really, really easy to use. It gives you really nice graphical information, and there's a bunch of resources here under resource and support, including individual tutorial videos and some guides to data collection, which can really help you move forward. So do get in touch if you've got any further questions.